Hey, John O'Connell here from Super Fast Fitness Camps, and today I'm going to talk to you about the whole weight loss and toning up, or losing weight and toning up, versus fat burning and becoming lean. Okay, they're two very different things psychologically, and the methods behind them, you'll understand, are very, very different and a lot more effective when you start focusing on burning fat and getting lean. But first, before we kind of go through that, I want to talk to you about the whole fat burning process. And when you understand that, you'll understand a lot more why the methods I recommend are far more effective than the whole kind of exercising more and eating less. So, as you can see from my beautiful diagram, this is a human liver, this is a muscle, this is the kidney, and here's some body fat. So basically what happens is the muscle creates a demand for energy. Okay? Now that energy is going to be stored in the body fat. When you start training, you're creating a demand for energy, and there's only so much demand we have stored. Most of the energy we have stored is either in the muscle or in the body fat. So when it kind of wants more energy, we want to get it to use the body fat. Now what happens is the body fat must be taken from the body fat stores and brought to the liver. Once it gets into the liver, it gets metabolized. When it gets metabolized into the liver, what will happen are two things. One, it'll create what's called free-form fatty acids. This is basically the usable energy source of the fat, and it'll also create waste. Okay, that waste product will go to the kidneys and get filtered out and excreted out the body. And the first thing, what we must understand, is that if the kidneys aren't functioning properly, that waste product can't be metabolized properly. It's not going to be excreted. It's going to get left in the body, and what it's going to do, it's going to end up getting stored back up here. We don't want that. Optimal kidney function relies a lot on water, on hydration. If you're dehydrated, your kidneys aren't going to function properly. So water is a vital component of the fat burning process. Secondly, these free-form fatty acids, they're going to go to the muscle, and they're kind of like going to go knock on the door. The muscle's going to say, who's there? Free-form fatty acids. The muscle's going to ask for ID. If they don't have ID, they're not allowed in. Now basically this ID, certain nutrients is specifically needed to actually get the free fatty acids into the muscle and use them as energy. So if we're lacking in nutrients in the body, our body's not going to be able to metabolize the free fatty acids and use them for energy. So that's really important, why I focus on getting people to feed themselves wholesome natural food. That's why I focus on the 7-day eat more diet, adding in more protein, more good fats, more vegetables, more water. Because that way there's going to be enough nutrients around the body to make this process happen a whole lot easier. If you're deficient in specific nutrients that are needed by the muscle to metabolize the free-form fatty acids and use them for energy, these can't get in, and they're going to go back and get stored in the fat. So that's the basic whole fat burning process. A very simplified version of it, but I'm trying to kind of put it in that simplified version to realize that if you start dieting and restricting and cutting out calories and cutting out energy, a lot of this process isn't going to be able to happen optimally. And secondly, if your liver is toxic and has a lot of toxins in it, it's not going to be able to take the fat, metabolize it, create the free-form fatty acids, and it's all not going to be able to. So that's where, again, huge comes from detoxifying, cutting out a lot of the foods that are toxic, or a lot of the chemicals that are toxic in our lives, things like tap water, and just minimizing that toxic load on our body. And then also feeding nutrients, vegetables that help detoxify and pull out the toxins from the liver. That's why I especially recommend the greens drinks, because the greens drinks will help detoxify. They contain nutrients, vitamins, minerals that help detoxify the liver, or that help the detoxification phase of the liver. So as I said, that's the fat burning process. Now, in order for the muscle to create a demand for energy, we must kind of ask it to do something a little bit more than what it's used to, okay? So a lot of us are used to kind of walking. So we can go and walk maybe, whatever it is, 3K, 5K, could be even longer. But if we're not creating a huge, significant extra demand on the body, there's going to be no extra demand to release this fat. So it's vitally important that we start to demand more of ourselves, more of our muscles when we're exercising. Now, the demand is movement. It's anything. It's walking, running, squatting, doing sit-ups, push-ups, those kind of things. But what we've got to look at is the most effective, most efficient forms of this movement to make sure that we're creating a huge demand for extra energy in the body. Because there's no point in creating just a small demand of energy in the body that our bodies are already getting from our food, or the calories from our food. We need to create an extra demand. And the best way to use this, I've found, is by strength training and metabolic resistance training. That way you're using as much, you're demanding as much effort from your muscle as possible. And that way, that's going to take up a huge demand, huge ask for energy. And this process is going to be heightened, it's going to be enhanced, the whole kind of metabolism boosting effort. Now, if we go for a run and we're well used to running, running actually doesn't create a massive demand for energy, especially if you're running on flat and if you're used to running. In fact, the more you run, the less of demand you're going to create in the body, because your body gets fit. Getting fit simply means that your body's actually making it easier to perform the same exercises, the same movements. So if you do the same thing over and over and over again, your body actually burns less and less of fewer calories every time, because it's gotten fitter. It's found a way to make it easier, which means it's burning less energy, less calories to do the same thing. So this is where the whole kind of weight loss and toning up versus fat burning and getting lean difference comes from. When people focus on weight loss and toning up, they don't understand this process, and they think, oh, if I just kind of, decrease all the calories that I'm eating and do a bit of walking, a little bit of extra exercise, I'll burn lots of fat. But it's not going to happen, as you understand from this process. It's not going to happen long term. It's not going to happen as fast as we want to, and then we're going to get disheartened. Our motivation is going to drop. However, when we focus on burning fat, this whole process, when we understand it, when we focus on burning fat, when we focus on increasing our metabolism, increasing the amount of work we're trying to do, the amount of muscles we're using during our exercise sessions and our training sessions, and focus on actually getting lean. Now, my kind of definition of getting lean is being able to see visible definition in your muscles, the tone that people are looking for. But we don't just tone up by doing a few bit of weight training, we've got to burn fat. So whether you want to lose 2 or 3 or 4 stone, or whether you just think, oh, I want better looking arms or legs, you must lose fat. You must burn this flabby stuff in order for your body to look better. So a lot of people say to me, oh, I just want to tone up, I don't want to lose weight. If you need to tone up, if you don't have visible definition in your abs, in your legs, in your arms, you need to lose fat weight. That's vitally important. So we need to burn fat. And that's why the nutrition program is so important, coinciding with the training that we're doing. You can't have one without the other. If you try and just do the training and your nutrition isn't optimal, this process is going to be a lot harder and may not, in fact, deliver the results that you're looking for. And vice versa, if the nutrition's only there, but we're not actually creating more of a demand for energy and we're not increasing the metabolism, again, the whole process is going to be a lot slower. So that's basically the principles of our camps, of our training, and what we do and how we deliver such effective results is by understanding this process. And then each training session is focused on using as much muscle and creating as much demand for energy from those muscles as possible, while complementing it with the nutrition program. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below.